used to be in the before that if you wanted to talk to a big movie star, studios would have to fly the reporters out to Los Angeles or New York and then put them up in a hotel, all for just like a 5-minute interview with the actor.
Such a weird thing when you say it out loud. Now it's as simple as hopping on Zoom. Our movie critic Paul McGuire Grimes has gotten the chance to talk with some of the biggest stars on the planet, and that's including today when he chats with the one and only Kenneth Branagh.
Kids the same age as ours are getting killed. We can give these boys a better chance than we ever had.
Did you come away with just a different appreciation for your parents or your grandparents in that community of Belfast after kind of living in that world?
I did. I found that the film laid a lot of ghosts to rest, and it also was a thrill when we took it to the Belfast Film Festival for the opening night. 1,400 people rose to their feet at the end, and so many of them that we saw on the way out said, "That's my story, that's my story." And that, for me, that was deeply, deeply moving.
Mama says if we went across the water, they wouldn't understand the way we talk.
If they can't understand you, then they're not listening.
Now, Jude, we see your character love watching TV and going to the movies and having that experience. I'm curious, are there movies that you've seen, I know you're so young, but that have left that lasting impression on you? And same for you, Ciaran. Like, are there movies that you remember seeing as a kid that opened your eyes to the magic of cinema?
Well, I think the Marvel films and sort of like the sci-fi Star Wars films, that sort of inspired me to start acting, and they're really just great films, and I'm a big fan of them still to this day.
I think one of the first films I saw, and I was probably only about 10, was a film called Zulu, which was a bloodbath. It was the British colonials that walked drift in Africa and taking on Zulu tribes. And I just remember coming out of the cinema, which was the same cinema that Ken would have gone to when he was a boy, just like almost fainting from the sight of so much blood. That was my early memory. They wouldn't let me in these days.
Paul joins us now. Paul, you saw the movie Belfast.
It looks beautiful.
The actor is lovely to talk with, but sometimes that can sort of warp your vision of objectively, was this a good movie?
We'll talk about that next. I will say that Belfast, it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz for a very good reason. This is such a wonderful and beautiful film, and the story is about this young kid growing up in Belfast, 1969, at a time when his city is really being divided between the Catholics and the Protestants. There's barriers growing up in the streets. Now his parents are really struggling to meet ends meet, and they're played by Jamie Dornan and Katrina Balfe as well.
Okay, so do we like the movie?
Loved it. It's really sweet, and you get to see the story in this film through the eyes of this little kid. So you're seeing him looking up, you know, in love with his grandparents and watching film and kind of wondering what's going on in the cities. And there's so much that you can apply to today.
Oh, gosh.
Ticket stubs for this
So
one?
4 out of 5 tickets up for Belfast. It's now in theaters, and if you want to get starting on those Oscar movies, watch this one.
There you go. Okay, Paul also sat down with two funny ladies who are starring in a new Apple TV show. Let's look at that.
Congrats on your DVD collection. I'm really jealous.
Thank you. We've got Happy Endings box set, Revolutionary Road, Anchorman, Do Not You Worry.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Work begins at 9 a.m. sharp. Phyllis! I'm trying to be ruler of my own domain.
This therapy is really working out, huh?
What do you think draws our obsession with true crime podcasts?
I think that's a really good question. I think it's a kind of satisfying format, because often we're presented with a problem and then that's solved by the end. I think this is unusual in that we've tried to shed light on it. I don't know if we've solved it, but we've tried to explain and dig into the sort of heart of both these characters and understand why they behaved as they did. And then I think it's for the audience to kind of make up their mind.
Do you have any obsessions or interests that you would do a podcast about?
Oh, that's so fascinating.
Great question.
I mean, I could do a podcast about my obsession about true crime podcasts. Like, I
Recap some true crime podcasts.
I'm so obsessed with some of the like interpersonal stuff that happens between the hosts. Like, I love a true crime podcast.
I am going to take care of everything. Feels good, doesn't it? Yeah.
Okay, I love all of these people so much, and so I so want this to be good.
Are you familiar? So it's based on a true crime podcast. And it's a really fascinating story. Will Ferrell decides to go see a therapist played by Paul Rudd, and how over the next 30 years, this therapist would infiltrate his life, taking over his family, his business, and his house. Yeah,
Wow.
30 years that this went on.
Okay.
8 episodes. First 3 are available today on Apple TV+.
Okay.
And I will say that some of the performances are great. Kathryn Hahn, fantastic. She plays Will Ferrell's sister. Casey Wilson, also great. Paul Rudd is good too. I think that the tone is off with Will Ferrell. It's struggling between being a comedy versus a drama, trying to find the fascination, the cringeworthiness of it, so you're not always sure where it's going sometimes. And it's stretched over 8 episodes, and you think, well, that makes sense, 30 years, but not enough is happening.
Okay.
Interesting. How many
Well,
tickets,
shoot,
though?
that was not the news I wanted from
I'm
you.
so sorry. It's
But I know.
2.5 out of 5.
What?
I needed more. Like, I want to know why this can happen. How does something like this happen? And I feel like the story is like, here's what happened between them, not the how and the why. And I think that that's really important with the term of people being manipulated by other people. Like, I want to know why and how, not just what happened.
All right, all right.
All right, let's talk about the Eternals.
Oh,
Bob,
yeah,
you hate
that's right.
The Eternals? The Eternals is a big Marvel movie.
Yes.
And it's like sort of the Marvel Universe Phase 2 kind
Phase
of?
4.
Oh, all right.
Welcome to the party, Steve.
Oh, okay. What did I miss?
So what I love about this movie is like it's Chloe Zhao who directed it. She just won the Oscar for Nomadland, and she really taking Marvel in this big, bold, new direction. All-star cast: Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Gemma Chan, Brian Tyree Henry, and the representation and the inclusivity of what this movie is representing is what's really important here.
Okay, but is it a good movie?
I really liked it. I mean, I like that it's different. So it's this origin story, but these characters are already so fractured. So the conflict is high, the stakes are high, and it just doesn't feel like it's not funny like maybe an Ant-Man or a Spider-Man. It skews way older than I think what a lot of other Marvel movies
is that
do.
right?
Yeah, like your kids I think would be very bored by it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, like don't turn this on at some point with them unless they're like much older to
What
really
about
get
Shang-Chi, though? We're thinking of doing that.
Fantastic. That's now on Disney Plus today. I love Shang-Chi as well.
Okay, ticket stubs for Eternals.
So 4 out of 5 for Eternals. I'm excited to see it. It's a gorgeous movie too.
Oh, fun. Paul, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
There were peaks and valleys.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
You can visit Paul's website, paulstriptothemovies.com. He's got updates on movies and streaming services.
And we want to say thank you to Muska Lighting. TCL's movie trip is brought to you by Muska Lighting. Get your home ready for the holidays by visiting one of Muska's showrooms in Roseville or Eden Prairie. They're ready and waiting to help you find the best fit for you. Thanks to Muska Lighting for sponsoring TCL's movie trip. Replace old and dated fixtures with a new light and change the look and feel of your home. Our mudroom fixture from Muska Lighting is a total showstopper. We get compliments from everyone who walks through the door. Talk to the experts at Muska Lighting in Roseville and Eden Prairie for help finding the perfect light for you.